register for this event. So I want to thank you and welcome you, plus the thousands of others from all around the world. It's more than we ever expected. Now, when you signed up, I promised you rapid product creation secrets as a gift for attending. So you're going to want to make sure that you stick around for the entire event, because at the end, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get it. Let's dive in. Now, you and I both know that you're here for a reason, and I think I know what that reason is. Maybe you're unsure how to get started making money and building your business online. Or maybe you have started, but you're disappointed with your results so far, and you're just not sure what you need to do to change that. Or maybe you're even doing okay, but you know deep down you could be doing much better, and you just don't know what's missing. You see, what I hear over and over again from online entrepreneurs, people who are trying to get into this business, and those who've already started, is that they're frustrated, they're confused, they're overwhelmed, and they're overloaded. And for any or all those reasons, you're stuck. So you've been looking for someone, anyone, to tell you in simple terms exactly what you need to do to achieve those things that you want. But up until now, you haven't found anyone who's been up to the task. And because of that, you're stuck and still searching. Well, if that describes your situation, the very first thing I want to tell you is, congratulations. You see, you've made a great decision to register and, more importantly, show up, because you finally are going to get what you've been searching for. Someone with the experience and know-how to tell you the real deal about exactly what it takes to succeed online. Now, as you probably already know, I've been helping people just like you online for quite a long time. In the last 7 years, I've worked with tens of thousands of online entrepreneurs, and whenever I ask a group of them, what do you really want from your business? Here's what they tell me. They tell me, I want a business that gives me the freedom to do what I want to do. Traveling, spending time with my family, and going out with friends. I want a business that makes me financially free, so I no longer have to worry and I can do and buy what I want when I want without having to think about it. I want a business where I feel certain and in control of my future. I want a business where I spend my time working on the things that I'm interested in and passionate about. And I want a business that makes me proud and shows the world what I'm capable of. But if I then ask these same entrepreneurs to tell me how's it really going, it's a very different picture. They're not making the money they'd like, if any at all. They've spent so much money on false promises and push-button solutions that they're embarrassed and concerned. They're worried because if things continue as they are, they'll never have what they really want. And they're uncertain because they don't know how to fix their situation. And that begs a question. Why? Why are so many entrepreneurs struggling? Why aren't they making the progress they need to reach their goals? What's missing? And what's the difference between the few entrepreneurs who do succeed and the overwhelming majority that fail? You're going to get the answer to that question, because I'm going to tell you exactly what the difference is between having your ideal business and what you have right now. And you'll see that it's not what you expected. You see, there are hidden strategies behind every online success and behind every major internet marketing guru. I know because I've worked with almost all of them. Some were doing okay when they sought me out, but even more were nobodies before we started working together. And it was these hidden strategies, the ones not often talked about, that made all the difference. In fact, they are very different than what you've been both sold on and told to do. Yet they are perhaps the most important key to all of the big successes you see online. And before we're through, they'll be yours to use both to start and grow your business. This approach works no matter how old or young you are. It doesn't matter if you're retired, you're thinking about retiring, or you're much, much younger. It also doesn't matter where you're starting from, meaning how much or how little technical, marketing, business knowledge you currently have. Because the approach I'm going to walk you through, the one that has worked for my clients and will work for you, requires just a few small shifts in your approach, while fully leveraging who you are, not a new tactic you need to learn. Now, whenever I speak at a conference, entrepreneurs come up to thank me, and they almost always say, I wish I would have known all this earlier. I think you're going to be thinking that too. Therefore, I want to tell you what I tell them up front. I want you to know that because you're here and you made the decision to pay attention and absorb my message. It puts you miles ahead of the overwhelming majority who are attempting to make money online, which means you now have an advantage over everyone else who is still stuck in their way of trying to succeed online, even though what they're doing doesn't work and never will. So I just want to say to you, I admire, appreciate, and respect you for taking the time and reaching out to learn a better approach to building a successful online business. Now, I need to tell you up front, we've got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm going to go pretty fast. So in order for you to get what you came here for, here are 3 things that I need you to agree and commit to. 1, Stay actively engaged. That means no multitasking. Close any other programs that you have open right now. Because if you don't remain focused, you're going to miss important details. So close your other programs, push everything else aside right now. 2, take notes. Have a pen and paper right in front of you to capture every insight, every idea, and every distinction. 3, let me know if you have any questions, and all you need to do is just submit them there on the right-hand side, and I'll do my very best to either answer them during or after the presentation. Now, if you're willing to honor those 3 small commitments, then I want you to go ahead right now and enter "I agree" in the comment box on your right, and I'll take care of the rest. One last point, and it's important. Clarity in all things is the key to success. In your business, clarity causes you to succeed. And during this webinar, it will greatly increase your payoff. So I have a short exercise certain to give you greater clarity and success right now. So take out a pen and piece of paper. I'm going to ask you to answer 3 simple questions that will give you the clarity you need. Your answers can be a sentence, a phrase, or even a word. It doesn't matter as long as it's true for you. Now, this is more important than you realize, and it's easy, so go ahead and do it. 1, write down your reason for being here on this webinar right now. Okay, now let's take this a step further. Look at the answer you just wrote down and now write your answer to this question. What's important about that? Now remember, it can be a phrase, a word, or a sentence, but what's important about your first answer? In other words, why is that important to you? Great. Now, you have 2 answers written down. I want you to look at both of them and write down your answer to this final question. What will having those, meaning your answers to 1 and 2, do for you? Let me say it again. What will having those, when you look at answers 1 and 2, do for you? Great. You should be more clear now why you're here, and you know what it will do for you to get it. And here's the really great thing. As we go through this webinar together, I want you to run everything I share with you through those answers that you just wrote down. Use your answers as filters so that you can see and hear how what I'm sharing will help you not only get what you came here for today, but will be the start of you finally having the answers to succeed online, however you define it. Look, I want you to know I value both your time and I value my own time. But just like in the movie The Karate Kid, Daniel didn't understand why Mr. Miyagi was having him do what he did. What Daniel didn't realize was that waxing the car, mopping the floor, painting the fence, and all the other chores had a much bigger purpose. Mr. Miyagi was turning him into a karate master. And had Daniel done what he thought was the right way, he would have never achieved the greatness that he reached. Well, it's the same here. You might not understand during this webinar why I'm asking you to do certain things, why I'm asking you to do certain exercises, or why I'm asking you to write certain things down, or why I'm covering things. But just like Daniel, if you suspend your judgment until we're through, you will have a breakthrough. You'll be on your way to being an entrepreneurial master. So for your own sake, you're here. Make this time, our time together, as powerful as it can be. Since there are so many of you here right now, and we've got lots to cover, it's important you get the big picture right up front. You see, my sole focus since I started my company, Strategic Profits, has been and still is this single goal: turning struggling entrepreneurs into successful entrepreneurs. That's what we do. That's all we do. And we do it all day, every day. And here's how. We help entrepreneurs replace opportunity seeking with strategic thinking. And that's important. In fact, you should write that down right now. Replace opportunity seeking with strategic thinking. Because the unmatched results that we help our clients achieve, the success stories that have attracted clients from all over the world to seek us out, is all based on one simple premise. And it's this: opportunity seekers struggle and fail while strategic entrepreneurs succeed. And here's why. When you think strategically, when you become a strategic entrepreneur and you look around at the opportunities that are out there, instead of everything being difficult and a struggle, things become remarkably easy. I'm not saying there's not work involved. This is not magic pill land, and I'm not going to sell you a fantasy. This is real business. And when you think strategically, you're never distracted or overwhelmed by all the opportunities out there. Instead, it's obvious what your very next step is and exactly what to expect from it. I would think most of you know who I am and what I've accomplished and helped others accomplish. I'm sure for many of you, it's the reason you're here. So I'm not going to run through all these testimonials, but there are 2 that I do want to point out to you because they stress the importance of what I'm going to be sharing with you. The first is from Brian Tracy. And what Brian Tracy said was, Rich's coaching program has made a bigger difference in the profit margins of high-level internet marketers than anyone or anything else, period. The second one is from J. Conrad Levinson, who's the founder of Guerrilla Marketing. And what he said was, Rich has turned more startup entrepreneurs into 7- and 8-figure success stories than anyone else I know. Both are powerful statements, and the methods I've used to deserve those statements are the very same methods I'm going to be showing you during this webinar. In other words, if you get this, if you really get this and put them into action, you will succeed. And one last point. I realize I have a reputation of working with the biggest and the best. But when Jay Levinson says startup entrepreneurs, he means even those of you who are just starting out with no knowledge, no experience, and no marketing skill. Many of today's top gurus were that way when they first started working with me too. So for those of you who have already asked that question, and believe it or not, there's been a few already, yes, I do work with raw online rookies too. And what you're going to learn here applies just as equally to you. I want to share with you my story, how I first failed online, and why it's caused so many success stories, and why it will do the same for you. You see, ever since I was 8 years old, I wanted to be in business for myself, because it's the surest way to make big money, enjoy the lifestyle most only dream about,